It started quietly. Every night, around 11, a light would turn on in the building across from mine. I live on the 7th floor, working remotely. My desk faces the window, and from there I can see into another apartment across the narrow courtyard. The first few nights, I didn't think much of it. Maybe someone reading before bed, maybe a student burning the midnight oil. But after a week, I realized the light always turned on at exactly 11:03 p.m. By the second week, it became part of my routine. I'd make tea, close my laptop, and glance out the window. The same light. The same figure, a person standing still near the glass. They never moved. Never sat down. Just stood there, staring out. One night, I noticed my own reflection overlapping with theirs. For a moment, I couldn't tell which of us was which. I waved my hand as a test. My reflection responded instantly, but the figure didn't move. I set up my phone to record the window one night. At 11:03, the light came on again. The figure appeared, standing motionless. When I replayed the video, I noticed something. The person wasn't just standing, they were facing directly toward my camera. Last night, I waved. It felt stupid, but curiosity got the better of me. 3 seconds later, the figure waved back. The same motion. The same angle. Perfectly mirrored, but delayed. I couldn't sleep that night. Every blink felt like a frame skipped in a video. At 3 a.m., I looked again. The window across was dark, but I saw movement in my own reflection. I wrote, "Hello," on a piece of paper and held it up to the glass. 3 seconds later, the figure did the same, only their paper said, "Hello," backwards. Tonight, I heard knocking. Not on my door, on the glass. 3 slow taps. When I looked up, the figure wasn't in the opposite window anymore. I turned on my webcam feed. The screen showed static for a moment, then the window appeared again. Only this time, I saw myself on the other side. It's not another apartment. It never was. It's a reflection, but not in my window. Someone's watching me through their side of the mirror. I went through the old recordings frame by frame. At 11:03, the light flares. The figure appears. At 11:06, my camera shakes slightly, and in that instant, the figure's room looks identical to mine. Same curtains. Same desk. Same chair. I tried not to look at the window tonight. But I felt it, the weight of a gaze pressing on the back of my neck. When I finally turned, the figure was closer to the glass. So close their eyes aligned perfectly with mine. It began as static. A faint hiss from the speakers whenever the light turned on. Then, a whisper. I recorded it, amplified it, slowed it down. It said my name. I waved again tonight. This time, the figure waited 6 seconds before responding. The motion wasn't perfect anymore. My reflection was getting tired. My monitor glitched while editing. For a second, the reflection's mouth moved. When I replayed the clip, I could read the lips, "Don't turn around." I turned the webcam toward myself this time. At 11:03, the light from the other window flickered again. When I checked the recording, something was standing behind me, in the dark corner near the curtains. Tonight, the power went out across the block. Everything went dark, except that window. The figure's room stayed lit. And now, the light looked like it was coming from inside my apartment. I tried something. I covered my window with a sheet and held up a mirror instead. At 11:03, I saw the same figure, but now the reflection moved first. There was something written on the inside of the mirror this morning. Faint letters, like breath on glass, "Let me out." Last night, I leaned close to the glass. The surface felt cold, but it wasn't solid. It rippled, like water. I think I touched the other side. Every move I make now has an echo. When I reach for the mug, a second shadow follows, half a beat late, then freezes. It feels like living inside a delayed reflection. Condensation formed again tonight, though the window was closed tight. A breath from the other side traced shapes I didn't recognize. My camera feed showed the reflection moving before I did. It smiled. I didn't. At night I hear a hum behind the window, low and steady like electric current. When I press my ear to it, I swear I hear whispering. The line between windows and mirrors blurred. Sometimes I see streets that aren't mine, objects arranged opposite. The two rooms are bleeding together. Handprints keep appearing on the inside surface. Each one slightly larger than mine. My phone rang with my own number on screen. When I answered, I heard my own voice say, "I can see you." I tore down the curtains to end it. The window was already covered from the other side by mine. Perfectly aligned. The glass gave way like cold water. My hand slipped through, then my arm. There was no resistance, only depth. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in his room. Only it was mine, reversed. The window was still there, and someone stood on the other side now waving back. I turned toward the window, but the city was different. Buildings were mirrored, signs reversed, and the moon hung too close. I thought I was dreaming, but the air was sharp and real. On the desk sat my laptop, or his. The file was still recording. Only this time, I was on the other side of the glass. I waved at the new me. This time, there was no delay. We moved perfectly together, like two parts of one frame. The recordings have no sound anymore. Only white noise, like breath through a wire. Sometimes, beneath it, I hear faint typing. Someone knocked on my door last night. When I opened, no one was there, only a mirror, leaning against the wall. My reflection inside was smiling wider than I was. I tried to record from both rooms at once. But when I hit play, both videos showed the same angle, the same person. And he was looking at me. When I returned tonight, the screen was glowing. Words typed themselves out. "Stay where you are." While editing, I saw it. A hand on my shoulder, from behind. But in the reflection, I was alone. There's no window anymore. Just one room. I can't tell which side I'm on, or if there ever was another side. The camera is still running. Recording the window, the same window. If you're watching this, tell me. Which side are you on? Weeks later, police entered the apartment after reports of a constant light in the window. Inside, they found no one, only a laptop looping the same footage of a man staring out. On the reflection of the screen, another man blinked.